Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys, peep game. All right, man. In case you guys don't know, there have been this situation brewing. It really started about maybe 2.5 weeks ago, where some tweets of Patrick Mahomes resurfaced in regards in him defending one George Zimmerman who murdered Trayvon Martin back in 2012, which was at the time a travesty. And it was very disgusting, basically, what happened surrounding George Zimmerman being on trial and how he basically got off, and basically how Trayvon Martin was vilified for basically a trial, a second degree murder trial for George Zimmerman, where George Zimmerman came across as some kind of hero, and you had basically people siding with George Zimmerman. You had people saying that Trayvon Martin got what he deserved, which he didn't deserve, to be shot for minding his own business. And that just basically showed you that nothing had changed in America. It basically showed you that the racial dynamic still exists and and is alive and well based off what people were saying on social media, just disgusting things. People even went as far as to make fun of Trayvon Martin wearing hoodies and blackface. Okay, it was disgusting. Uh, Everything from the court case was rigged to the jury, which they made sure a non black jury was summoned to basically oversee the trial. They made sure no blacks served on that jury whatsoever. But then you still had people trying to say that this wasn't about race. The prosecution was not allowed to bring up or say the word racial profiling. They were not allowed to bring up some of George Zimmerman's past issues with black people. That so I mean it was just you know it was just a travesty. But I think what angered people at Patrick Mahomes, it was what he said in the tweets, where most people followed this case closely. Where Patrick Mahomes, I guess he was tweeting with another person saying no one knows what happened, but he do believe that a crime possibly could have been committed. Well, we do know what happened. George Zimmerman was told by the police in a police recording, told not to approach him. And he said he's going to approach him after you heard the 911 call where dispatch said, don't approach him. There was some kind of confrontation. And all we know is Trayvon Martin ended up 6 feet under. Okay. He ended up in the morgue as he was headed to college. Okay. This incident happened in Florida. We know that much. But since then, since George Zimmerman has been acquitted, he has went as far as to sell the gun that he used to murder Trayvon Martin. He has posted several insults and messages taunting Trayvon Martin's family, basically introducing himself as the guy that killed Trayvon Martin. And then he now has filed a lawsuit against Trayvon Martin's family. So that pretty much sums it up for George Zimmerman. But Patrick Mahomes in his tweets, he says he knew this would happen. He say now George Zimmerman won't be able to go in public anymore. Excuse me? Well, how about Trayvon Martin not being able to hug his dad, hug his mom anymore? hang around his friends? How about how Trayvon Martin was robbed of his life? How Trayvon Martin was robbed of the opportunity to go to college where your ass went and got to be drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs, and now you are earning a excellent living as an NFL player, and they're saying that you may earn a $200 million contract from the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're also thinking about passing a rule where quarterback salaries don't go against the salary cap. So basically, a team can pay the quarterback whatever they want, or whatever he wants, pretty much, or whatever they want, however you put it. But let me give you a summary of Patrick Mahomes' background. Patrick Mahomes has a black father and he has a white mother. And I think he has 2 or 3 siblings. I don't know how many brothers and sisters he have. But after you hear the conclusion of this video and what I think of his father and his mother, this will sum it up, because I think this is important that us black folks have this discussion. Once again, we don't care what the so-called dominant society thinks or what the mayonnaise nation thinks. Their opinion is not warranted, not wanted, not welcome. Don't care. Keep it to yourself. Go somewhere else. I don't want to have this discussion with you guys, because at the end of the day, you're going to do what you usually do. Make excuses and tell us, oh, we need to respect the decision that was made by the jury. No, you don't respect the decision that was made concerning O.J. Simpson. Y'all don't respect that. So y'all don't never respect it when it's turns when it's in favor of us, which is rare. So don't holler that shit to me. We all know what happened with George Zimmerman. He murdered Trayvon Martin, and it's that simple. And we know how that trial was rigged. But nevertheless, let's talk about Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes grew up. Now, when you hear the title, that should sum it up. Patrick Mahomes grew up in a city or a county, whatever it's called White House, Texas. The title white in it alone should be self-explanatory. White house, white horse, white holes, white fences. But he grew up in White House, Texas. White House, Texas is approximately 2 hours away from Dallas. So I'm not going to say he's exactly from the Dallas area, but that's about Dallas is the closest, marquee major city in Texas. And keep in mind, it's 2 hours away from Dallas. But nevertheless, I say this once again, he has a black father and a white mother. Now, let me give you the population of this city, White House, Texas. White House, Texas is 85% white. I'm going to say this again. 85% white. 12.5% Hispanic. 2.5% Asian. And and 0.0 black, which means there ain't no black people there. Which means they might have been the only so-called, black family there if you want to include his father. But then again, his father might have been the only black person living in that area. Now, I'm going to get to Patrick Mahomes' father in a minute. But obviously, Patrick Mahomes wasn't raised around black people. Probably the only time he saw a black person is probably when he was in high school and he was playing against other teams. That's about it. All you got to do is look at the type of women Patrick Mahomes is into. He dates blondes or he dates white women. And that's probably what he feels more comfortable, being around. You got to understand, it is a rhyme or reason, defect and cause when you raise your children, especially if you have melanin in you in those type of areas. You're going to a certain degree pick up the traits of the people you hang around with if you're not educated on who you are. Why Patrick Mahomes' father would move him to an area where he is completely out of touch with his other side, his black side, it speaks volumes about his father and what kind of dude his father is. Obviously, his father did not want Patrick Mahomes raised around black people. And that just goes to show you that his dad has self-hate. Now, keep in mind, Mike Tyson just spoke on this. The effects and defects, because there's an effect and defect when you think about it, of when you alienate your kids from people that look like them. I understand when you run into money, you can't necessarily live in the urban area, but you don't have to totally distance yourself from people that look like you, and I stand by that. What is the definition of a good school, really? So because you're not around people that look like you, that mean that is a bad thing. And when you around people that look opposite of you, that's necessarily a good thing. Sound like self-hate to me. Sound like his father went out of his way to make sure that his son didn't have basically a fellowship or a brotherhood with the brothers. I guarantee you Patrick Mahomes don't consider himself to be black. Now, he may say it when he do an interview with BET or some shit like that. He'll try to pull that card. But I don't think he identifies himself as being black. Not coming from that environment. I don't believe that for 1 second. And I wouldn't be surprised if his family is Republicans too. Now, let's talk about his mother. More than likely, his mother, she don't like black people. Now, of course, she slept with a black man and procreated with, of course, because there was some money in it for her and her kids. Obviously, she didn't want Patrick being raised around black people because she wouldn't even allowed her son to be in an area like that. Those are her demographic. Those are her people. And I'm willing to bet you that Patrick Mahomes' mother is probably a racist. I guarantee you she probably has used the N-word with the ER referring to black people in front of him. I can guarantee you Patrick Mahomes and his family do not identify with black people. Now, he might listen to hip hop because, hip hop is everywhere. But what do that mean? There's white people that live in all white neighborhoods or predominantly white neighborhoods and still don't like black people and still call black people the N-word behind their back. Unless you William Wolf, who hang around a bunch of handkerchief head coons that let him use that word. Yeah, I'm going to keep attacking William Wolf because I just love the fact that his white ass got punched in his white face with a black fist. Love every minute of it. But Never, but nevertheless, you got to understand that's Patrick Mahomes' environment. So of course, so of course, he gonna probably identify himself with the so-called dominant race. Like I said, his dad is sad. His dad is sad. Real talk. You raised your kids in an area like that, where you probably the only black man that's walking outside your house and everybody looking at you and they seeing you with your white wife. They probably secretly wanted to do something to your ass. They probably secretly wanted to lynch your ass. But the only reason why they didn't lynch you is because you was probably the primary breadwinner, because you played professional baseball. And I have to look at black dudes funny that move their kids to areas like that. Now we know the education system is not in our favor to a certain degree based off the type of teachers they give us and send in our areas to teach us. But damn, the odds are stacked against us, but damn. White House, Texas? Really? I'm sorry. I have to look at you funny and look at your thought process when you say, oh, a good school is surrounded by people that don't look like you and don't want you there. Why is that necessarily good for your children? Like I said, look what Mike Tyson said. He alienated his children from other black kids, and now he feel like his children don't like black people and look down on black people. And that's probably the same way Patrick Mahomes feels. Real talk. This had to be said. This had to be said. You can, for real. And it's funny that you got people defending Patrick Mahomes, but I'm gonna talk about the people that defend Patrick Mahomes that's black. And I'm gonna call them out on their hypocrisy in the next video. But yeah, I don't think Patrick Mahomes is a brother. I don't consider him a brother. He don't have a brother mentality. He sounded like a straight Caucasian person. That sound like something a Caucasian would say, because they play those type of games. They try to play clueless, like they don't know what's going on, like they don't know what's up. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Patrick Mahomes and his family and his upbringing. I guarantee you, they don't have no ties to black people. They don't want to be tied to being black. You know what I'm saying? As far as Patrick Mahomes' father go, he just probably looked upon as just being a sperm donor. And he showed he don't respect himself, and he showed that he don't respect his people, which is black people, which proves he don't want to be one of us. You got to ask yourself, why would you raise your son in an environment like that? I understand that his mother is a different nationality, but damn, do you want him to totally be out of touch with his black side? Which he pretty much probably is. Enough said. This your boy Town Biz. I'm out.